María Corina Machado's name is now known around the world, not just as a Venezuelan opposition leader, but as the woman whose fight for democracy earned her the 2025 Nobel Peace Prize. But behind the headlines and political battles is a personal story shaped by sacrifice, family distance, and a lifetime of pressure no parent or partner should ever have to endure.
Freedom is an individual decision, a rational decision. And it's the sum of these individual conscious decisions that bring that collective ethos that creates the force, the strength, and the courage.
María Corina was born on October 7, 1967, in Caracas, Venezuela. She's the eldest of 4 daughters, raised in a family that valued both discipline and empathy. Her father, Enrique Machado Zuloaga, was a prominent steel industry businessman. Her mother, Corina Parisca Perez, was a psychologist, a balance of industry and human understanding that shaped María Corina from childhood. Brilliant and determined from the start, she studied industrial engineering at the Andrés Bello Catholic University and later earned a master's degree in finance from IESA, one of Venezuela's leading graduate institutions. Long before she became a political symbol, she was a highly educated professional stepping into a turbulent world. In 1990, she married Ricardo Sosa Branger, a businessman and heir to one of Venezuela's well-known families. The couple had 3 children together, Ana Corina, Ricardo, and Henrique. But as the political landscape in Venezuela began to deteriorate, the pressure on her family grew. Her rise as an outspoken activist, and eventually one of the fiercest opponents of the government, brought real danger to those closest to her. The escalating threats, tension, and instability took a toll, and by 2001, the marriage ended. Years later, as the persecution against her intensified, her children eventually moved abroad for their safety, a painful reality shared by many families of dissidents. Machado herself has faced years of political harassment, targeted investigations, constant threats, and even periods where she was forced into hiding.
Well, for over 16 months, I haven't been able to hug or touch anyone.
Her fight for democracy has come at a deeply personal cost. That personal sacrifice was on full display during the Nobel Peace Prize ceremony. Because of ongoing security concerns and her long period in hiding, María Corina couldn't travel to Oslo in time to accept the award. So her daughter, Ana Corina Sosa Machado, stepped onto the stage in her place.
I am here on behalf of my mother, María Corina Machado, who has united millions of Venezuelans in an extraordinary effort that you, our hosts, have honored with the Nobel Peace Prize.
In front of the world, Ana delivered her mother's message, one that echoed decades of struggle. Democracy is essential for peace. She reminded the world that this prize wasn't just her mother's achievement. It was a recognition of all Venezuelans, from political prisoners to families forced to flee who continue resisting repression. The speech also highlighted a heartbreaking truth. María Corina has spent years separated from loved ones, living with uncertainty while fighting for her country's future. Yet through all of it, the divorce, the threats, the exile of her children, and her own life in hiding, she never stopped, not for one day.
I am very hopeful Venezuela will be free, and we will turn a country into a beacon of hope, an opportunity of democracy.
Her Nobel Prize is more than an award. It is a testament to her resilience, a symbol of a nation's courage, and a reminder that peace cannot exist without democracy, a truth that has defined María Corina Machado's entire life. While María Corina Machado represents a powerful conservative voice in Latin American politics, on the opposite end of the spectrum in the U.S., another woman has become a symbol of progressive change, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and her fiancé, Riley Roberts, have been engaged since 2022, but their story actually began long before AOC stepped into the political spotlight. They first met over a decade ago while studying at Boston University, and no, it wasn't some dramatic meet-cute. It was more like true nerdy fashion, as AOC herself put it. The two would show up to Coffee and Conversations, a weekly student town hall where people discussed everything from the war in Afghanistan to the latest in pop culture. And guess what? Riley wasn't just some quiet guy in the back. According to AOC's college friend Eric Baker, Riley was the one stirring the pot on purpose. He'd throw out a provocative opinion just to get people thinking, Baker described him as probably smarter than anyone you've ever met, and someone who thrived on intellectual debate. Sounds intense? Well, apparently AOC loved that energy.
It's ambitious.
But after college, they split up. He moved back to Arizona and she stayed on the East Coast. It seemed like that chapter had closed until around 2015 when they reconnected. AOC's mom spilled to the Daily Mail that the couple found their way back to each other, and eventually Riley moved to New York, working remotely from their apartment in the Bronx. By the time 2022 rolled around, AOC wasn't just a rising star, she was a full-blown political powerhouse.
You know, sometimes you're an underdog until you're not.
And that's when Riley decided to propose. But here's the twist. AOC wasn't immediately sold on the idea. She actually told him he'd have to woo her. Honestly, I love that energy. Alexandria admitted she needed to be convinced, especially after how much their lives had changed. But in the end, she saw something rare. Riley wasn't threatened by her success. In fact, he celebrated it. They got engaged in April 2022 while visiting her family's hometown in Puerto Rico. And yes, Alexandria confirmed the news on X, saying, "No future details yet. We're taking some space to savor this time before diving into planning." So who is Riley Roberts? Well, for starters, he's originally from Arizona and studied sociology and finance at BU. After graduation, he helped small businesses build websites and worked in UX growth consulting. He's also used those skills to support AOC behind the scenes, especially during her early campaigns. He's the kind of guy who prefers staying out of the spotlight, and if you've ever wondered why you barely see him on her socials, now you know.
I do get nervous when I post, not as often as I used to.
Despite their long history, the couple prefers to keep things low-key. In fact, one of AOC's college friends admitted she didn't even realize they were dating until years later. Riley rarely shows up on her socials, and at public events, people sometimes mistake him for a campaign volunteer instead of her fiancé. But make no mistake, he's a huge part of AOC's support system. Her mom adores Riley, calling him loving and supportive, and saying he was a massive help during the election. And those close to AOC say he's her grounding force, someone who walks her to work, keeps her company late at the office, and even serves as her unofficial bodyguard. That's real-life rom-com level commitment.
Americans aren't asking for a lot. They're just asking for politicians to help them get by.
I can do this.
I know you do.
AOC has said that, unlike some of the men she dated in the past, Riley didn't freak out when she stepped into her power. Instead, he leaned in. She told GQ he's been deeply engaging and that he's not just watching her journey, he's in it with her, using their experiences as opportunities to grow.